Before we get into the Lions, just briefly, the whole Harbaugh situation, the things he's trying to get into his contract. If you're Michigan, do you just say, okay, whatever you want, we'll put it in the contract as long as you stay?
No, there's nothing wrong with. See, the only thing is that these things get out, and it's good that they do because that's good reporting when people. But when they get out, people think it's this ridiculous ongoing thing. They need to make sure they're covered in some ways, and he's certainly going to make sure he's covered. He's got the most leverage he's ever had because they won the national title like a week and a half ago. So no, I don't think it's a big deal either way. If he wants to stay, they'll find a way for him to stay, and if he wants to go, none of that will matter. And it's just negotiating. I don't think it's a deal breaker either way.
Me neither.
What do you think he does? Do you think do you think he'll be offered one of these jobs? And if so, do you think he takes it?
Well, I was thinking about this because, people ask, and you probably get it asked as well, John. This is how I view it. I think he wants to stay, but of course he wants to see what's out there. And we all assume, when the Shefties of the world reported, now he's going to Atlanta, and now he's talking to the Chargers, and you assume he's wildly coveted. Now, I don't know if he's wildly coveted, but you only have to be coveted by one team to take an NFL job. But the thing I thought about was all the things that make Harbaugh a great coach at Michigan are things that I don't know if it matters to the NFL. Like, he's a Michigan man. Okay, they don't care about that. He really connects with the young players and has all these great sayings. I don't think they care about that. He wants control and doesn't want, too much control over his head. That would bother them. That said, he's a great coach. So if a team wants to make it work, they can make it work. But I think if you watch his speech at the championship celebration, he still seems to me to be a college coach at the place he was destined to be, but he's got that itch he wants to scratch. I just wonder if NFL teams will be as enamored with him as people here are, or people in college
but
are.
I think the one thing that they look at, and you could say, relating to young people, that doesn't matter. There's a lot of things that don't translate from college to the NFL, but the one thing that does is winning. And he won at San Francisco. He won at Stanford. He's won at Michigan. And I think that's the one thing that they're looking at going, hey, we just want somebody who can build something and win.
Right, and he built programs in those three places, Woj, from pretty much ground zero.
Okay, but only one of those programs was in the NFL, and that was 10 years ago. And that did end poorly, like for both sides, with the very issue that we talked about. Again, the Broncos wanted him last year, so I wouldn't be surprised. I just don't think he's going to get like 8 offers lined up and is going to be able to pick through one. It's going to take a special place and a special owner. And, people in the NFL talk, and the Minnesota thing a year didn't go very far or get very far. And, again, the 49ers thing was messy. Again, whatever he wants, more power to him. He's earned the right. But I just don't think he's going to get a bunch of offers, but he just needs one.
Yeah, and when it's all said and done, I think he's back at Michigan.
Well, that has been my lean, but the more you hear the machinations, and it's not a deal breaker, but Michigan does sort of have to protect itself against the NCAA stuff, and Harbaugh's like, well, then I get protection too. I don't think that's a deal breaker, but it could complicate matters. But I've been slightly leaning towards him staying for a while, and I'll stay at the slight lean.
Okay,
now.
So if he does leave, we all assume Sharon Moore is just going to get promoted. I saw, one of your ilk, the college football elite, Bruce Feldman, had a list of candidates.
Oh, I saw that.
Leipold and the guy from Kansas State. And Brian Kelly has interest in Michigan? What the hell?
Brian Kelly may have interest.
Yeah, but Michigan, there's no way they'd hire Brian Kelly.
No.
All right, Stoney and Jansen, can I let you in on a dirty little secret?
Yes.
And it's the dirty little secret that cost Michigan State $100 million, although they don't have to pay it now, is all of these lists are driven by agents of these coaches.
Yeah, I know.
All of them. That's what got people in a kerfuffle about Tucker was going to leave, so they had to pay. The Brian Kelly thing, he's always mentioned there and got him to LSU. I don't think any of those are real, although at some point could be. Ryan Kelly makes no sense.
None.
Do people like in Bruce Feldman? He's a great college football writer, but they listen to the outside people and then they make connections. Oh wait, Brian Kelly. That's right. He was at Michigan. He went in Michigan, Grand Valley State, and that would make a perfect connection. That makes
Central.
No
he coached
sense.
at Central Michigan.
Well, not only is it lists that agents put out, it's also what can I get for people to click on this story.
Well, that's very true as well, and I do think, of course, depending on the timing, that Sharon Moore would be the obvious candidate. And you say, well, he's still young. Okay, yeah, but first of all, he's there. You want to keep things together, including your staff, I would think. And secondly, you just mentioned names that are do any of those knock your socks off, even if they were available?
No, and no.